surgery on Sunday, and if just come down to pain tolerance, he's cleared to play this week, so we'll see if he's able. Shavers played early in the game and then just wasn't able to continue, so we'll hopefully have him this week.
I know it's hard to make real-time assessments on the line plays or anything after watching film, particularly offensive line that you noticed.
Yeah, 9 sacks is not good enough. There's I think 3 are on the running back. Some are balls. Just all around. Balls got to get out faster. We've got to protect better.
Yeah.
Backs have to step up and win the one-on-one. But we're not gonna walk away from that. If you're an offensive lineman, you can't give up 9 sacks. So.
Do you feel like everybody understands what they're supposed to do? Like when you say the backs.
Back out, run over, and you blitzed them and hit them in the face and ran them over. You got to win the one-on-one. There was one, Sam, that I don't mean to cut you off there. Just I'm not going to make any excuses for our team, and I said it all falls back on me. We it's the first time since I've been here we didn't get in the end zone. We had opportunities. We had guys open. We didn't hit them. We had guys open. We didn't have enough protection to get the ball to them. You know what I mean? It was just not good enough at all, and that rests on our shoulders, and if our player, my shoulders, and if the players are who they say they are, which I believe they are, then the rests on their shoulders too. And so there's one that one of the last sacks was empty protection where the back has to get out, and back didn't hear the protection, so that was a missed assignment of audibly hearing it. But our guys know what to do. We're not fooled. There's not they were blitzing the back and bringing the guy who has the back and man across. Same thing that Iowa did last year. We were in Boston College. We were flipping the protection into it, so we didn't play nearly good enough. We have all the tools to handle that. We just didn't do it.
What are you seeing from Dylan in the ability? I know he avoided a couple of sacks with his scrambling ability, but what about in what you're asking him to do in stepping up in the pocket to avoid some of that pressure when the rush is funneled to the back?
I thought he avoided a lot of them, to be quite honest with you. I think there was probably avoided another 4 or 5. I think as a quarterback, I think all quarterbacks have to always take it upon themselves to not get sacked, right? Like, I've got to get the ball out. I've got to change the protection. I've got to do something. So that's the way Dylan thinks. That's the way we think. With that being said, he was under duress. So to me, that falls on Dana. It falls on Donnie. It falls on me. It falls on the players. I've never, 9 sacks. There's nothing else really to say. It just can't happen.
You say you avoided another 4 to 5 sacks?
Yeah, I'm saying he threw one left-handed, he flip one up in the air. Some of those could be sacks. I'm saying I just, they came out and they decided to pressure us and they blitzed us, and we didn't adjust well enough to it. And the shame of it is it's 7-6 at halftime. Go win the game in the second half. Regroup at halftime, come out and do what you've done the last couple of weeks. It's not going to be easy. It's not. You're on the road at a packed house, national TV. Of course, they're going to come out and play you hard. And so it's come out in the second half and win the game. And that's what they did. We didn't do that. They did that. So we didn't hit their quarterback. They hit our quarterback. It's just a pretty simple game.
You guys had good offensive balance at Maryland. Why wasn't the balance there as much as far as the run game versus the pass game? It seems like you guys went away from the run. Even when the game was 7-6, it just didn't seem like the balance was there, especially when the sacks were piling up.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough. I think I've always been really. I don't know what to say to you guys other than it wasn't good enough. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off at the coaches. I'm pissed off at myself. I'm mad. So, yeah. I don't know how to say it any other way other than that. To be quite honest with you, we didn't. Emmett ran the ball hard. They blitzed us. We never made them pay. We got in some big sets a couple times. We ran by. We have the ball in the red zone twice in the first half. You got to score 2 touchdowns. It's a pretty simple game to me. Run the ball, stop the run, protect your quarterback, affect their quarterback. Don't beat yourself with penalties. We get down the red zone. We dive on a guy's head. We get a targeting call. We have them up to 4th and 3. We get a defensive holding. You can't beat yourself with penalties. We haven't taken the ball away on defense in 2 weeks. Those things all fall on me. I'm the head coach, and so I don't mean to minimize it. I don't know how to answer it with you. You're exactly right. Everything that you guys are going to bring up, you guys are right about. To be quite honest, I'm bringing the same things up. You can't give up 9 sacks. You got to run the football. You got to convert third downs. I think we were 1 for 5 on third down in the first half, right? Like, and if they're going to blitz you, then you have to get the ball. But they also sacked us in a 3-man rush. They all, so it's not any one thing. It was just bad football.
Are there tweaks you're gonna make to the tackling drills or approaches to minimize some of the things that happened with your secondary mostly?
Yeah, I mean, we do tackle circuit every day last week. We do it every day. We practice that way. At some point, I'll do a great job of standing here and trying to be a leader and say I own it. But I'm sitting in that room just on the same page, telling our players they got to own it. Like you don't get to just leave your feet and dive at people's ankles and think good things are going to happen, right? Like, run your feet, strike, get off blocks, make tackles. Like, we get beat on outside zone into the boundary, 4-by-1 outside zone, and they had a 71-yard touchdown on 4-by-1 outside zone. At some point, so I will take ownership of it, but I'm looking for some players who want to take ownership of it, because at the end of the day, that wasn't good enough, and that's everybody. So yes, it surely rests on me, but like, we're doing the drills, we're doing the tackling drills, we're doing all those things. You got to bring it to the game, and I'm just constantly trying to teach our players nothing's happening to you. You're not getting sacked. You're giving up sacks. You're not missing tackles. We're not making the tackle. So we have good players. They've shown that they can do it. Go do it. And that's the growth in this team that has to happen this week. There comes some times in life. There's like moments where you have to stand up. And so this is that week.
Did you approach the last 2 days and today as you would normally? Okay, I just know, like, a couple years ago after the Michigan game, the practice was different the next day. Anything along those lines about your schedule for the last 48 hours?
No, I didn't think we quit. I didn't think we, like the Michigan game 2 years ago, I felt like we quit. I felt like we didn't try. I felt like, I didn't feel like we didn't quit. We didn't play good enough football, and Minnesota did, and so, the same thing we always do. I just showed them the tape, showed them what we did well, what we didn't do well, the opportunities we had. I mean, there's guys in the end zone wide open, but we're getting sacked. It's like, hey, and then I'm showing us rushing them and their line straining to knock it off. But it's not. What you have to be careful with a team is it's not any one thing, right? The only area that produced in that game at a level that's, we didn't cover them in man, we didn't tackle in the secondary, we didn't hit the quarterback, we didn't stop the run, we didn't run the football nearly well enough. We had big plays that we either didn't hit or didn't catch. I mean, it's just all around. So that just falls on me. So just the game doesn't carry over. Tell the truth, and then see if they stand up this week and fight for themselves. That's exactly how it is. You can't blame anybody else. You can't talk about anything else. It just wasn't nearly good enough. The special teams, I thought, showed up. Credit to Jacory and that punt return team. They punted the ball out of bounds. Pregame warm-up, they were kicking the ball out of bounds. We stopped the ball at the 2. Great, Archie had a 54-yard punt with his right foot. Jeremiah Charles, Roman Mangini, Bryce Turner, those guys playing their tails off. Jacory, at the end of the game, game's over. He says, I want to be the punt returner, goes out, has a nice return. So our defense and offense have to produce the way the special teams produced.
Did you feel that the energy was there coming out of last week into the game and pregame, when the game started?
100%, yeah. I think it would be a disservice to our team to say, oh, we had no energy. You know what I mean? I think it's like just a disservice. It takes the pressure off. Here's what I'll tell you exactly how I really feel, Mitch. They were excited to play. They were fired up. There was juice on the sidelines. There was energy. We came out early on, and it's just the football wasn't good enough. And I think once Minnesota started to assert their physicality, I don't know that we were ready for a fist fight. I think we thought it was going to be a little bit easier. That's sad to say, but that's why it falls on me. A lot of times get up here and say, this is my fault. I told the team the entire week that this was a tough physical team and this would be a battle. And I had even assistant coaches like, man, why do you keep crowning them? I'm tired of that, man. Like, you better respect every team you play, especially when you're at Nebraska. Like, people are getting excited for you. So I'm not letting us off the hook by saying, hey, we weren't, you know what I mean? Like, that's just like they played better than us. Credit to them, credit to them.
This Northwestern team's been playing well. What jumps out about them in your early week evaluation?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched everything on them. Like, they're really physical. They play really, really hard. They run the football at a really high level. They lost the first game of the year, and then they lost to Oregon, and then since then they're on a tear. And they shut out. How hard it is to shut people out in college football, and they shut out Purdue last week. Coach Braun's done a great job since getting there. They play really, really sound defense. They've got a great pass rush. They're physical up front. Like I said, they're averaging, I think, 190 yards a game. They're sixth in the Big Ten in rushing. They got a wideout 17 who no one can cover. He gets most of their targets. They don't beat themselves, so it's a repeat of the type of team we played last week. You know what I mean? So we'll find out about ourselves this week.
The sack issue is not new. I mean, Michigan was an issue. Michigan State was an issue. Now, a bigger issue. Are you seeing the same things show up? Is there any common denominators?
It's a great question. I thought, Michigan, we struggled on the edges at tackle. Michigan State, some of those sacks, we're holding the ball, trying to push the ball down the field. Like, they're kind of like, low value sacks. We got beat on a protection blitz. We were better against Maryland. And then this game, it was just everything. So, the ball has to get out quicker. We have to step up in protection. The coaches have to figure out, the coaching staff has to figure out not what we want to do, but what can we do. So it's purely on us.
So what kind of what are you hoping to see from Coach Holgerson this week as he puts together the plan?
Yeah, I trust Dana with my life. We got to get the quarterback to get the ball out. And I'm not saying he's holding the ball. I'm saying we have to give him plays where we were covered a lot of times in the game. Like, they matched our routes and there was nowhere to go with the ball. So that's why it's I'm in no way defending anyone. I'm just trying to make sure our team here is it was everything, and that's why it's not good enough, right? We were covered. Then when we did get behind them, we didn't make the play, and then they blitzed the back, and then when we played man and they beat us on shallow crosses, then it's oh shoot, we can't, we better play some more zone. We're supposed to cover the guys, and we didn't cover at a high level, so we didn't pressure a ton. They pressured us, and we didn't hurt them with it. So then all of a sudden you're like, all right, let's pressure these guys, and so. It's just complementary football. It's a little bit of everything. So I think Dana has to go back with his staff, and they have to figure out how we can run the football. I mean, football will never change. All I talk to the team about is don't beat ourselves with penalties and missed assignments. Win the turnover battle. We didn't lose it, but we didn't win it. Run the ball, stop the run, protect and affect the quarterback. Win the situations. We're not scoring touchdowns in the red zone. We're not winning third down. It was bad all around. So, I think that I think the biggest thing is, hey, what can we do? Not, hey, this play's really good versus this coverage versus the guy. What can we do? And let's do that. And get Pritchett back. That'll help. Rocco playing will help. No disrespect to the guys that went in. Those guys. Obviously, your starter for a reason. So losing two starters was tough. And then I think to Sean's point, I'd like to see us run the football a little bit more because Emmett's playing really well.
Do you feel like Barney and Key just? It's very simplistic to say scheme them into touches, but they've had 10 combined catches in the last 3 games.
Yeah, yes. I'd like to see them touch the football.
Do you think does there need to be more intentionality about just getting them the ball?
Yes.
You mentioned Pritchett and Rocco coming back will obviously help. Are there some younger guys who are getting closer to that rotation, or do you consider any of those second, third year guys?
Yeah, we got some good young players that are developing. But I'm really not in that position right now. I think our starters are our starters, and we put them in and play them. And but if anybody else goes in, we expect them to play well.
This is a positive. Some of your young defensive linemen have taken a jump. They're going through this kind of for the first time. Keona and Williams. Is there a journey they have to take where things are going to be imperfect, but they're making plays anyway?
Yeah, I think that's true for all players. You know what I mean? I think they did some really good things in the game. Let's say even at halftime, I think I said hey, they had, come out for the radio. I was like, we gave up one play in the first half. Really, the thing that we're not doing though is you can defend on defense. I'd like our defense to wreak havoc. To get sacks and force fumbles and all these things. And I don't think we called the game that way. I think we were very vanilla in the way we called the game. And as a result, they got in rhythm. And guys had a chance to make. The guy runs a shallow cross into. We fooled him into cover 2 and runs a shallow cross. The guy should be just smacked. Obviously we never want somebody to get hurt, we run up, we dive with the ankles, the guy gets a first down. So it's like, it's just a little bit of everybody. But yeah, there are definitely a lot of good things in there too. Just the 98-yard drive, obviously, that can't, those things can't happen, right? You can't pin them down at the 2 and then allow that. So, but there's guys getting better, and I hope you can see from my tone, it's like that's what it was. It was just really, really bad, especially in the second half. But it doesn't carry over to this week unless we let it. And so our team, all those guys you're talking about, they have every opportunity to come back this week. So to kind of go to Mitch's point, I'm not mad at the guys. I'm mad at myself and the coaches. You know what I mean? I blame us. So and when I say I told them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you tell them if they don't listen, right? I couldn't convince the coaching staff what that game was going to be like. I knew what PJ Fleck and Minnesota would be like on a Friday night, and I couldn't convince the team. So now they know. But that's not me saying I told them they didn't do it. It's me saying I didn't get it done. I'm saying, like, that's my job. Like, that's my job, is to get the team ready to play, and they were not ready for that battle, especially in the second half.
Can you speak to what kind of characteristics in the team you saw last year when they went to Ohio State in a somewhat similar kind of mindset maybe after that game, and if that exists, if that kind of stuff exists here with this group? Or is it a different scenario?
Yeah, well, I mean, good teams don't lose 2 in a row. Good teams, when they lose, they get mad and they fight back. And what you're seeing in college football right now is teams losing 4 in a row. Because when they lose, like, oh, well, the season's over. It's just kind of the new world we're in. I better get ready for next year in the port. And we don't have those kind of guys. And so, last year, our guys after Indiana, they were embarrassed. They were pissed off. But more importantly, they reduced the Ohio State game down to like me versus him, right? And that's coming out of Michigan. We went Michigan State. It was like the guys had that mentality. In Maryland, they had that mentality. And, unfortunately, the creeping in of, that's why I don't like just saying, like, just the sacks. Like, the game wasn't lost just because of the sacks. It was a 98-yard drive. It was just everything. So it's like everyone now, in my opinion, has to do what we did last year and reduce it down to, like, I've got to show up and play. And so we're coming home. We're playing at home versus a good team. I sure hope we show up like we showed up at Ohio State, but just make more plays than we did against them.
Just from what you've seen so far in demeanor and body language, how are they bouncing back so far?
Great, but we'll have to find out tomorrow at practice. I mean, Sunday, we practiced last night and normal practice, and they flew around. I mean, there's still, 2 things can be true. You can play a really, really bad game and be really mad about it and still know that you're a good team. But Phil Jackson used to say something to the effect of, like, successful teams are only successful when they're doing successful things. We got to play way better. And so, I think they know that. So they'll hopefully we'll reduce the game down to what the game really is. It's blocking and tackling and playing really hard and making your plays when you have a chance.
Back to the coaching staff comment for a minute. It must be a little galling that your coaches were not able to carry your vibe to the players.
Yeah, I want to make sure I say it the right way. Because I don't want to. Because I know sometimes when I say things, I mean them one way and it comes off maybe the other way. So I think the way it works is the head coach of any team says, "Hey, this is the vision for this game," and then people carry it out. And when it doesn't get carried out, my job A is to get on the coaches, but then B, take ownership of it. Like, we completely failed, and again, we failed 7-6 at halftime, and everyone's walking in the locker room disappointed. I'm so tired of that. It's like stop, with just the entitlement of that. It just drives me nuts. Like, every team is going to be ready to play us. Like, they were chanting overrated at the end of the game. Why? Because you've earned yourself into being 5-1 and being in the top 25. They wanted to play you. So, like, I'm just tired of that entitlement of, like, oh, this will be easy. Oh, this will be easy. Oh, these guys don't, who are we? You know what I'm saying? We're just, and so we're way better when we're, like, chip on our shoulder, gritty, tough. So, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm not blame. I don't want to come in here and blame people. I want my team to know that, like, we all have to be better this week. It wasn't nearly good enough. And I mean, Dana worked his ass off last week. Butler worked his tail off last week. It's just, every position has to get their guys ready to play. And if your team position's not tackling, you're not doing a good enough job. If your position's not blocking, you're not doing a good enough job. And so, the season has ebbs and flows. And when you come out of a game, you say, I didn't do a good enough job, then you have to lock in and say, why didn't I do a good enough job? And not be emotional. You don't change everything. You just have to do better the next week. And so, I told Addy, get your secondary to tackle and cover. I told Rob, get your linebackers to run through. Let's knock the ball out. I told Terry, let's stop turning sideways. Let's knock the line of scrimmage back. That doesn't mean that they're not working those things all the time, but it's just the ownership of a coaching staff. Like, this is us. What we put on tape is us. And what's happened in coaching over the years is like, now, especially now with the portal, everybody just blames, players aren't, this guy's not good enough. We're good enough to win. Okay, we're good enough to win. So get your guys ready to play this week. Donnie, get the O-line straining and blocking. I'd rather die than let my quarterback get hit, and then stop diving. How many 15-yard penalties we have as an offensive line this year? It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, just block between the whistles. And so these are my messages, but they all fall on my watch. And so I'm being uniquely candid with you guys today because you guys deserve that. Our fans deserve that. They watch that on Friday night. It's ridiculous.
In your experience of being around great teams, whether it's teams that you've coached or that you've played against, how have you seen them navigate that fine line between having a right to be entitled because they are great, and then also maintaining that chip on their shoulder?
Such a really great question. So Mitch, I worked for Tom Coughlin, and he would always say, humble enough to prepare, confident enough to perform. And, then you listen to Coach Saban. He always talks about something like workhorses or show ponies, right? Like you have to work and work and work and work as if you have no chance to win the game, and then you have to play as if you have no chance to lose the game. But you can't, so we worked, but you can't expect it to be easy. You just have to believe that, hey, if I play as hard as I can for 60 minutes, then good things will happen. Part of that, though, in my opinion, is when you get punched in the face, you either cower back or you come out swinging. And I'm not saying we cowered back, but we certainly didn't swing. And you start seeing lots of guys walk off the field like something's happening to them. No, it's not happening to you. You're not playing good enough, and so go play better. I'm not coaching good enough. So, I didn't throw a fit. I didn't yell at them after the game. I didn't do all that because I own the fact that I didn't coach good enough. But you know what? I'm going to coach good enough. I'm making it very clear, I think, right now to our team and to our coaches what's expected this coming Saturday. And if Northwestern is just way better than us, then so be it, right? So be it. But if fans spend their money this week to show up and watch a team diving on the ground to make tackles and guys getting pushed back into the quarterback and just then I'd boo us. So we better show up. Help me say that. We will show up. Okay, how about that? We will show up. I showed our team the last play of the game. Roman Mangini, walk on punt return. He blocks for 9 seconds, running all over the field to block people. I'm like, I went that for 60 minutes.
Anything else?
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you guys next Monday.